Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today is a very impromptu kind of video. I'm going to stop showing my face for right now because it's weird holding the phone out like this, but this is a video showing off some of my decks. I didn't intend to make this video. I was actually going to make a video talking about the recent spoilers that we got, I was going to say today, but I think it is now actually after midnight, that we got on Tuesday showing off the new Avatar set. However, I don't know if you guys saw my post from yesterday. I thought I ran into issues with my the file that I was editing, but apparently it was not with just that file. My entire computer just kind of crashed. So long story short, I don't have access to it, and so I'm going to make this video instead. I have no clue how this was. It's funny, I was making that video, and I was talking about how impromptu that video was going to be with what I was going to be doing. And now here I am doing the exact same thing, saying how impromptu this video is going to be, so you're going to hear a lot of uhs and ums and things like that. But I don't really know how this is going to turn out. I hope the audio quality is pretty good. I'm literally filming this in my house, just on my kitchen table. And yeah, I figured I could show you guys just how addicted I am to this game. And there's, we got, I was always curious how much was going to be showing up on the, I'm using the 0.5 zoom, so it kind of shows the table a little bit better initially. So yeah, I'm going to go over some of my decks and show you guys just how addicted I am to this game. And again, I hope that the audio is good and I don't bump my chin into my lapel mic. So yeah, these are the decks that I've got. I've got quite a few. So let's just get into, these are some of my currently, I guess you could say, less used ones, or mostly because a lot of the ones here in this box, these two boxes at least, I don't really use them all that often, but who knows? Maybe some of these are actually some of my favorites that I kind of swap them in and out for when I go to LGSs. So starting off here, this is actually from a Secret Santa that my personal play group we did, and this was a we did partner type things, and so Kenrith was my partner's one, and then Will was mine. So that is what that is, and I kept it together as is. This actually is one of my personal favorite decks. It's just been sidelined recently. John Renicus. I love this deck. Most people build it to like donate away mean cards, but I actually donate it away. Let's see if we can show off. Yeah, stuff like this. Things with shadow. I love my my promo Dothy Slayer here. I give away a bunch of things like that. And let's see if I can get to, aha. There we go. Woo! Yeah, I say that whenever I cast this thing. The Woo Scout, I give away creatures with horsemanship. So horsemanship, shadow, and just straight up unblockability. There's a couple ones that are in there that are kind of mean, but it's mostly in case I go against a life gain deck where I'm likely not able to defeat them if I get down to a 1v1. Then I can at least donate those away. And let's see, this one I believe is mostly untouched. It is pretty much the precon from Warhammer 40k, and Rakir the Traveler, I guess is how that's, and Rakir. Mostly unmodified precon. I actually have a few others from the Warhammer 40k. I just don't actually have them here. This one is, you may notice the stack looks kind of small because it is unsleeved. I don't know when I unsleeved it. I think I just ran out of sleeves at the time and didn't buy any new ones, and I just needed to unsleeve a deck. This was a Mutate deck that I made a while back. It just wasn't all that great. Mutate needs more support. There's some great ones in there, potentially. So maybe one day they'll revisit Mutate, and I will get to update that one some more. This is one of my, I mean, as you guys can see, I have a lot of decks, so I have a lot of duplicates. This is one of my 3 Bant decks, maybe only 2. Might just be 2 decks. Arcades, Walls. Very, very simple, straightforward. That's kind of why it's in the stack of not really using all too much, because it's very, I know Arcades is one of the most popular commanders out there, like in total, especially in Bant. They've made some more wall support kind of stuff now, but it's just a very, very simple, straightforward. You just play walls, get Arcades out, attack. It's very easy to shut down. You just attack a player and then they swords your Arcades, and that basically fogs your entire turn. It's just very straightforward. But I still enjoy it because it's the retro foil frame, so I have to do that. I honestly don't even know what some of these are. We're just going to pull. This is Baba Lysaga. This is actually, I really enjoy this deck. One of my favorite decks. It can take a long time. The turns sometimes can play out for a while because a lot of it is thinking what you're going to sacrifice. Hopefully you can turn your things into multiple permanent types, so you only have to sack one thing to really have that thing go off. but sometimes it's the good chunk of the game is just a puzzle figuring out what you have to sacrifice. Oh my gosh, I forgot I had this. Osgear, the Reconstructor. I have to hold it up so I can see it. It's hard for me to see it on my... if I hold it up really close, but then you guys really are seeing my fingers. Yeah, Osgear. I built this a long time ago as an artifact kind of focused deck of like reanimating artifacts. And then they came out with a card that is now one of my most favorite decks, and it just kind of totally replaced it with like artifact ETBs and things like that. But I still kept him together just in case, because Boros does offer red, gives you a little bit of artifact synergy that you don't get in my other one, which I'll point out. I actually made a deck on the other one sometime, I think last year maybe. Joda, one of my mono white decks. I used to have a different mono white deck. I now have 2, maybe 3 mono white decks. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, this is, I can tell just because of the number of different sleeves, because I always sleeve up my tokens and I put them all in different sleeves. Awaken the Blood Avatar, obviously the front side is a creature, Warlock. I don't even know what the name of the creature is. Essex? Something like that? I don't know, my sleeve is split. Oh, I love the back of this one, just because this is a bit of a salty deck, because I do make my opponent sacrifice their creatures. Love the sleeve. If I could get 100 of those, I would totally sleeve up a whole different deck. I think it's Extus. Nah, that's what it is, not Essex. Extus, yeah. Really like this. This is cool to have a sorcery in the command zone. Very interesting build, and fun little kind of Diet Aristocrats E. This one is, oh, Pirates. This is partner. It's Breaches, and then Malcolm, I believe, is the partner to that. Don't really have it. It's not, I just never made a pirate deck, and I wanted to make something that was kind of focused on treasures. This one, these are a little harder to do because they don't have those cases. This is a Marnius Calgar. Like I said, I have others of those. I'm pretty sure that one's mostly unmodified. I actually need to take him out and put him into one of the other decks in here. Let's see what deck is. This is my first Expels Matters Zaxara deck. Really cool deck, and I've really only updated it by putting this Secret Lair version of it in there. I much prefer my new Expels Matters deck, but I still kept him around because I don't really take decks apart all that often. Feather, again, if you guys haven't noticed, I like these retro frames. I really like my Feather deck. I know Feather is notorious for like being really busted and overpowered. Mine is really split, and I have it. It can be a Voltron deck, it can be a go wide tokens deck, and it can be a spell slinger where I'm just casting instants and sorceries and burning people through all of that. I don't even know. I was kind of glancing at some of these earlier. This one, yeah, this one didn't even have a commander in there, so I don't even know what deck this is. I think these were all similar things. I really don't tear decks apart. But sometimes I take cards out of them to, I don't like, let's see if we pull out a random card. Can we figure out what it is? Swiftfoot Boots. No, that ain't gonna help. Let's get a different one. It is Toxic Deluge. I run this in a deck. Oh, this might be mono black. Sir Conrad. I think that's why it's missing the commander, because I was looking to get the foil retro frame. Let's see what we have here. A Liliana. Yeah, I'm thinking this is my mono black Sir Conrad. Pretty mean deck. I don't actually really use that one all that often. I don't even think my personal play group has ever seen it. Let's see if we pull a random one out. Ooh. Wolfgar Icewind Dale. What deck would this be in? Oh, that's actually nice and pretty. Look at that. What deck is it? Oh, this is my Halden and Paco. Yeah, this is actually, if you guys see there, this is the original one, because they reused these lands in Double Masters or something like that. This is the John Avon art from the lands from Unhinged, the second ever unset, and I got foils. I don't know if it's coming through, but I actually have foils, so these are actually nice and pricey. Yeah, this is my Halden and Paco deck. I actually blinged it out pretty well. A buddy of mine did a Scooby-Doo and Shaggy themed variant of the cards, and yeah, it's got a Calamax and Mina. Yeah, all right, so that's Halden and Paco. I don't know what this one is. Let's see, we'll pull. Oh, Sapphire Medallion. This is what's that? Seb McKinnon did the art, Legendary Merfolk. So that's my mono blue Merfolk tribal deck. Let's see, looking at the time, we're at 10 minutes. All right, we're not going too long. Well, maybe, who knows? We'll see. In this one, I've got a few decks. These are some of my, this one actually, my play group, they tried to dip their toes into CEDH at one point. I'm not a CEDH guy. I really just, I'm happy the format exists and I'm glad people can play it, but I personally do not enjoy CEDH at all. And so I made this Nimmiz deck to be able to at least participate when the guys wanted to do CDH. I didn't run Curiosity in here or any other infinite type combos, but I just made it counterspell tribal. So it has, I think, 30-something counterspells in there, so I could at least counter their win conditions, and I actually might win by just pinging or attacking a player and killing one with commander lethal damage. Oh, I love the sleeve on this one. I think that was Grumpy Cat or something like that. This is my Tuvasa deck. This is actually one of my first, I think this is my second or third deck that I built for Commander, and I've since added this secret layer version of the card, you know, because the text is, oh no, I think it actually has a back. Yeah, I think it does have a back to it, maybe. I really love this. This is Banchantments, Voltron kind of deck. It originally was like a lot of enchantment creatures. Yeah, it does have a back that tells you what the card does. But just a really blinged out deck. I had it still is blinged out. I'm looking for a foil replenish for the deck, which is going to cost me a lot, which is like the one thing that I'm missing from the deck. Really, really like this deck. I'm pretty sure I have my, like, look, old cards like this. Energy Flux from Antiquities, really, really cool deck. That's right, yeah. This is actually one of my meaner decks. The deck doesn't run a single artifact, nor does it run a single sorcery, instant. That's right, that's why I'm not looking for Replenish. I took all that out. I'm looking for Replenish for a different deck, which you guys will see, I think, right here. Or no, in here, somewhere. Yeah, I took out all sorceries, instants. There's no battles. There's no planeswalkers, even the Estrid one that does care about. It is purely creatures, lands, and enchantments. And I don't even run Smothering Tithe in here because that makes artifacts. So the deck does have a few mean things. Let's see if I could cut to one of the other mean ones. No, not experimental. Come on, show Squeeze. I have a foil Squeeze in here. Sanctum Weaver. Come on. I've got some other Enchant Worlds. There we go. We got a little promo foil of Aura of Silence. So, yeah, really, really blinged out deck. Fun one. I enjoy that one. But it is Voltron-ish. So it's a little weak. This is my current personal favorite deck. This is the one that I'm looking for a foil replenish. This is my 5-color Chromat deck. Currently my definitely most blinged out deck. One day maybe I'll showcase this entire deck for you guys, let you guys see it. I will just always excited to show this deck off. The theme to it is no card that was originally printed, and I usually try to get original versions of it unless there is like a Judge promo or an Arena promo or something like that that actually did come out around early time, but no card in here that was printed after 2003-ish when 8th edition came out and they did the border change to the card. So it has my beta basics in there. Let's see what else I could grab from here. There's not a lot of basics in here. So, dude, are you kidding me? There's not a lot of basics in here. Oh my god, all lands. But see, look, I just love Foil Apocalypse, my favorite block of all time invasion. We got a foil Defense of the Heart from Urza's Legacy. The deck is like a kind of a Voltron, Voltron Enchantress. It's got all the original duels, not alpha original, but the actual duels that are original, because there's not a lot of great dual lands from before 2003. Archivist for card draw. There's not a lot of good card draw in there, but one of my most personally favorite blinged out decks, just because it's all old cards, reminds me of my childhood, and I just love having these old Vigilance. There was not a lot of great ways to get Vigilance back in the day. So yeah, really, really cool deck. Maybe we'll showcase the entire deck for you guys one day, and you guys can see that one. And then, what do we have here? A Tivit. This is one of my more powerful decks right now. This is when people want to do like bracket 4 type stuff. I don't think it's a bracket 4 deck. It doesn't really, it has no infinites, there's some tutors. I do have the Arena Rector or Academy Rector, whichever one it is, that lets you search for a Planeswalker, because I do get the Tezzeret There's a lot of flicker stuff in here because, of course, flickering the Tivit re-triggers him, but also saves him from board wipes and target removal. Oh, here's one of the planeswalkers that I can search for in case a backup. But really, really powerful deck because it can win through non-combat. A lot of my decks, most of my decks, 95% of my decks. Oh, this card is so bad. It's so trash, but I love running it in here. And because I make so many treasures, it actually is really good at using his first activated ability there to give my Tivit protection in case I can't flicker it. So just look at that foil invasion. I love invasion. What was I saying? Yeah. The deck can win in non-combat. It does actually have the capacity to drain people out. I call it artifactocrats, phasing protection. I really like to protect my Tivit. And it has foil retro frame. A lot of, if I could get to one of these there's kind of win con because I'm draining through card draw. So when I sack the clues that I get off of Tivit. So that one is a very, very powerful deck because it can win outside of combat. And then this was actually my very first, this was my very first one when I first got into Commander. I got this wooden box because I was like, yeah, 4 decks, that's a whole lot. I'll never need more. So then I ended up getting this one. We have the Council of 4. This one is replacing my Nimmiz Perun as my new, highly competitive deck. This deck is very, very control heavy. I've moved a lot of my counter spells into here. And the deck kind of just controls, draws cards. It has a little bit of group hug kind of aspects to it because I'm making people draw second cards on their turn and helping them to cast their second spells. And I just kill you with a bunch of knights after I control the board. So haven't actually really used this much, but I look forward to maybe one day whipping that deck out when somebody is going like mean mode. This one is a proxy of Toby. Does it have a full name or is it just called Toby? I can't remember if I put that on there. I think somebody actually made this because I was using this deck and I just used my phone with the image of the card as my commander, and somebody drew this. So this is not my drawing skills. I'm actually probably even worse than this. And I wanted to make a Toby flicker deck where you just keep flickering Toby to make a bunch of 4/4 tokens. And then they get flying eventually, and you just kill people. It's my other mono white deck. I don't think there's a deck in there. Doesn't feel like it. This is my Marchesa deck. I really like this one. This one's Marchesa like aggro kind of. There is a lot of attacking creatures, not super early like aggro, but mid-range creature based, where I am attacking a lot. Because there's not too many ways in these colors in Grixis to put +1/+1 counters on creatures outside of the dethrone effect. So it kind of has a big focus on attacking with creatures, but it has a lot of creature ETBs and dies effects, so it's kind of aristocracy. I really like this deck, actually. I get to use a lot of old cards in there. Alundo, one of my meaner decks, not because it's control, but because this dude can make my turns go on forever and ever and ever. I eventually took out a lot of those effects that let me do my Alundo turns on everybody's turn, like Seedborn Muse. There's the one where it gets quest counters, Awakening, those kind of cards. I took them out because the turns just took so long. And then when I did that on every player's turn, it was just not fun to play against. It was not fun to play with. It was kind of fun to play with just because of how much you're doing, but really, really cool thing of like pseudo suspend kind of thing. I like the deck. I want to make it more playable over time. I need a better win con because sometimes I run like Vitalizing Wind from Prophecy, where your whole board gets +7/+7, but it doesn't actually give them trample, like a lot of modern overrun effects. But the way he works is that I might just cast that Vitalizing Wind on an opponent's turn, and that's a bummer because it's kind of useless then. So a really weird deck. I enjoy the randomness of it. But yeah, Don Andreas, this is my theft deck. I don't really do a lot of theft because people don't like playing against theft. I personally don't like playing against theft, but this deck tries to steal things not on the board. I don't steal with like blue effects to like gain control of creatures. I more reanimate out of your graveyard, so that I'm taking your creatures that you're not really have invested a lot of like mana into it. I'll do a lot of effects that let me cast off the top of your library, where I like exile those cards and then I can cast them. People still hate that because they hate mill in general, and that gets viewed as mill, and also now I'm killing you with your own creatures, which people don't like that. They want to kill me with their creatures. So I understand the feeling, so I don't use this deck all that often, unless I do Rule 0 or pre-game discussion with people. But there's a lot of stuff that has come out for him. I need to add it because I do enjoy that. I once got a Toxrill with this deck, and that guy immediately took Toxrill out of his deck because he got to play against it. So I really like that whole kind of thing of like, if you don't like the cards that I'm killing you with, it's your cards. Like that's kind of a fun feeling. I enjoy that, of giving people a taste of their own medicine. Yes, I have a Yuriko deck. I've not used this deck in forever. I built this before it was ever known really as being CDH. I built this like right when it came out just because it was ninjutsu, it was cool, it was ninjas. The deck actually is focused on ninjas. It's not CDH or really like close to it, but it can still be very degenerate, and it can make people lose a lot of health pretty quick. But I don't use any combo with it or anything like that. I do, run Sensei's Top and some top deck manipulation, like Scroll Rack. I was about to say Curse Rack, Scroll Rack and stuff. And I'll put some big spells on there, but I'm not doing super immense shenanigans with it. But just the general hatred that card has gotten over the years, I don't use that deck often because people would just focus me out. Shalai and Halar, I have a lot of Naya decks. This is just +1/+1 counter tribal. I don't run any combo that does what is it? After the fall, after all, one with machine. Whatever the red enchantment is, that whenever you put a counter on something, actually I think I do run that in here. It's the card that one combos with, like the Red Death or the Red Terror, something like that. Do not run that in here. None of my decks, I don't run combos, or at least not like 2 or 3 card combos. There might be like a 4 card combo, but I go out of my way to avoid doing combo wins in my decks. But I just like this deck because I love counters and I love tokens. If you haven't noticed, I have a lot of counter decks and a lot of token decks. And yeah, this one can be brutal because it can win outside of combat, but I also try to win through combat by just putting a booty load of +1/+1 counters on my creatures and then pinging. I enjoy that deck, but it can be a little powerful sometimes. A Sir Gwyn. This is Knight's Tribal, not a Voltron deck, but it can sometimes turn into a Voltron. Despite me running a lot of Knights, I run a lot of old Knights. I have a lot of old cards in there from like 7th edition foils and things like that, and Invasion. A lot of really, really fun old Knights and equipment. And so I'd try to go wide with a lot of Knights, but oftentimes the deck just ends up drawing all the equipment, and it does turn into a Voltron deck, which kind of is a bummer because this is my only source of card draw in the whole deck. So if I'm only drawing 1 card a turn, that's a bit of a bummer. But she is a very, very, very good Voltron. This, I know, again, similar to the Yuriko and the Tivit, you guys will probably moan at or groan at, not moan at, oh my gosh. Yes, I have a Corvold deck. This is the original Corvold, a really good Corvold. This is not a good Corvold deck, though. It's still a good deck because it is Corvold, but it doesn't run, it's not aristocrats, there's not creature sacking going on in here, and there's not artifact stuff. I don't run any treasures, clues, foods, or anything like that in here. It is Landfall Corvold. It's all about fetch lands and recurring fetch lands. Honestly, there's like better creatures now. That new deck that we just got, the new Jund, that has a spaceship in it. Both of those commanders I think are probably better because one lets you actually play lands from your graveyard, whereas I have to find those effects to be able to do. This deck usually is like running 3 or 4 lands that each tap for like 3 or 4 mana each. It's a really fun deck. I like it. The turns can go long. So there is, oh wait, no, there's more. Oh my goodness. All right, let's push this out of the way. We're at 23 minutes. I hope this video uploads. If I have another video tonight that is messed up. Oh, actually, it was my whole computer that was messed up. Yep, we've got 12 more decks. I don't even know what we're up to. I honestly don't know how many decks I've got. And yes, I'm one of those weirdos that walks around with these toolbox cases. Let's see if we can go a little faster, which is a bummer because these are actually my more passionate decks now. These are the ones that I typically am running a lot more often, so I have a lot more I could tell about these, but in due time we will feature all these decks on this channel, I would imagine. I like telling. This is my, if you can even read it, Layla Artful Provocateur. This is my artifact enchantment deck. It is Anthems. I built this deck. I think this is one of my earlier decks up there with like Tuvasa and stuff. I built this deck because people said that Anthems were useless in Commander. And I don't know how relevant that is today. I don't know if people still say that, but when I built this deck, it was always a joke when people would talk about Anthems, kind of like how they used to joke about how life gain decks are a joke in Commander. So I built a lot of life gain decks. This one actually has a bit of a pseudo life gain theme to it because she does have lifelink. But yeah, I said I'd talk less. But yeah, that's a really, really fun go wide tokens deck that is Anthem based. and really, really fun. This is another goad deck. I have 3 total goad decks. You've seen the one, which was the John Renicus. This is my second one. Renmal, really, really fun deck. This is my group hug goad deck where I'm just giving everybody free 2/2 birds that they attack with, and they enter tapped, so they usually are not using them to block with. Sometimes this deck runs into a weird issue where, like, maybe the deck has a vehicle and they just use all my birds I give them to crew the vehicle, or they sack all the birds because they have a Ashnod's Altar or Phyrexian Altar or something like that. So weird deck, sometimes it blows up in my face and people just use it for an immense amount of value, but I just love this because it accelerates games because I'm giving so many 2/2 flyers out. And then maybe somebody plays a coat of arms and just really makes things interesting. This is my second mono green deck. Maybe I have a third one somewhere. I haven't gotten to the other one, and we'll get to there soon. Koze, I think it's pronounced Koze, Penitent Warlord. Really, really fun deck. I need to further update this one. I kind of just threw it together with what I had. There's a lot of cards I'm still missing. There's a lot of equipment that put +1/+1 counters, and there's a lot of enchantment auras that put +1/+1 counters, because you need those ones that do both, because this guy has to be both equipped, enchanted, and have a counter on him. I think he says that somewhere, equipped, and has a counter on it. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a +1/+1 counter, but any kind of counter. And then you just draw cards equal to the amount of combat damage he does, and then he has that built-in effect where when he hits a player, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Very, very cool card, but he has base 0 power. So yeah, really cool one to get him online. One of my weaker decks for sure, but still a very cool Voltron build, since I don't build too many Voltrons, or like specifically trying to be a Voltron. This is explicitly a Voltron deck, which is really cool. Arami of the Gravetide. This is my first like reanimator deck that I built. It's got a lot of self-mill in there, and it doesn't cheat big creatures, but it does increase the value of them because I put a Grave Titan in my graveyard, and then I encore the Grave Titan out, which when it enters, it makes, each one makes 2/2 zombies, but I get 3 of them out because I have 3 opponents, so I'm getting 6 of those zombies, and then they all get haste and they attack, so I get 6 more zombies, and there's a 6/6 Death Touch coming at each of my opponents, and now I've got, 12 2/2 zombies that I can use as blockers, or I can attack with next turn. Really, really cool deck to just, like, again, not get around the cost. I'm not cheapening. I'm not casting a 1-mana reanimate in here. I don't run any of those, Animate Dead, Dance of the Dead, those kind of things. I'm not cheating. I'm just expanding upon the value. This is a partner deck, I believe. This is my only Doctor Who deck. I am not a Doctor Who person, a Whovian, I think is what they call. Oh, there she is. Usually I put the partners together. It's Amy Pond and the 11th Doctor. I don't even know which ones they are. This is a very weird deck. It's built around keeping their power toughness small so that I can use him to make them unblockable. And then I attack through, and then I use effects to give them double strike, or replacement effects to increase the damage, because again, I don't want to make them bigger. I don't want to increase their power because then I can't make them unblockable. So I use those effects to give him double strike and increase her damage so that she removes more time counters on things. And it's kind of like a Lundo, the Simic guy over there, where I'm putting things into suspend and then trying to cheat that out. This deck is horrible at that. It usually would be so much better to just to actually just hard cast these like 6-mana enchantments out and things like that. And there's so many redundant effects in here to also give things unblockability and to give them double strike, and it doesn't matter how many times they have double strike, they still only hit twice. So it's a weird deck in that regard, but it is fun. It is interesting. I like just bad ways of cheating mana cost. Oh man, is that an Achroma's Memorial? Yeah, that's a proxy of it. You can tell because it's got the retro frame, and they didn't actually print it with the retro frame. This is a Graz, my only colorless deck? I think so, yeah, this is my only colorless deck. This is make a bunch of tokens, and then those tokens become 5/3s. They're Juggernauts. I don't actually run Juggernaut, the original one, in here. I have a beta one, but I don't put it in here because it's just kind of off theme to turn a Juggernaut into a Juggernaut. I still like the card. The art on it is beautiful. But yeah, I love this deck. It's colorless. Most colorless decks are going to be, Eldrazi's or something like that. So this one's really, really fun to actually crap out a whole bunch of, I do have Eldrazi spawns and whatever the other Eldrazi, the 0/1 Eldrazi's and the 1/1 Eldrazi's. Fun deck to just and I don't treat him as a crater hoof. I get him out really soon, really early on. I don't generate a whole bunch of tokens and then play him to then crater hoof over and kill people. I get him out as soon as I can with whatever tokens I do have, and I kill people over time. Because my goal is not necessarily to win on one turn like that. This is a Bellow deck. This is actually the water raised something. I don't know what they call it. I spent way too much on this, but I built the deck and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I love killing people with things that are not traditionally that they get killed by, like a sorcery in the command zone. There's another deck that I haven't shown yet that kill people with things that are not traditionally that they get killed with. So the fact that I'm attacking with artifacts and enchantments, really cool. Love this deck. Falls apart very easily, just like Arcades. Bellow just gets killed mid-combat and that fogs your whole turn. So it's not a resilient deck, but it is a fun deck. Emil, this is one of my more brutal decks. This is a very mean deck. It is a flicker deck. It is a blink deck. So it's very hard to answer. You can't flicker Emil herself. I think she might be a female unicorn. I don't know. So you can't flicker Emil themselves, but you flicker a whole bunch of other things, and I have things that when they enter, they can flicker or phase out or protect, so I have ways to... This deck can be pretty brutal. I think 4 Selesnya decks or something like that. Really like this deck, though. It's very fun. Certain cards that I run do not show up at all on the EDH rec page for Emil, so it's always fun when people see these really weird cards. And yeah, this is a Rona Herald deck. It is not a reanimator deck, like most people use her draw discard effect to reanimate creatures that they discard into the graveyard. My goal is actually to get her to this side where I do damage to herself many times using... I don't actually use this version because I have a beta version in the deck, but I use Tim the Enchanter, Particle Sorcerer type things where I'm using these to ping her, and then I flip into random cards. I have horrible cards like Bullwhip, 2 mana, 4 to cast it, and then 2 and tap, deals 1 damage to target creature. That creature attacks this turn if able. Horrible card, but I run a lot of those kind of effects, and then hopefully I cast a random gigantic thing that's scary. So again, kind of a random deck, somewhat like a Lundo, but even more random because it's cast randomly out of my hand. I might just cast a board wipe or something. Oh, I think all my board wipes in here are one-sided. Torbran, or as I say, Torbjorn, mono red burn. At the time that I built him, people said burn decks were bad. Now there's so many cards better than this guy. They just made an enchantment for Avatar that puts this card to shame. Obviously, you can't run that as your commander, but this guy just does a lot of things that just do 1 damage. My personal favorite card to run in here is Goblin Sharpshooter, because I have a foil of the original, and it looks amazing. And that's a really cool effect that you can just tap and shoot down things for 3 damage, and then maybe untap the dude and keep that trend going. Can be a very mean deck. This is one of my more mean decks because it is, I think they call it Group Slug. It has mana barbs and those kind of effects in there that punish people for doing things, and they get punished a little bit more than me. This is my Omo deck. It is not a lands deck. It does have a bit land kind of things that care about lands, but it's not like landfall. I don't run things that like ramp out lands even faster. A lot of people think that it is. It is not a gates deck either. Yeah, so yeah, she usually is used with the gates. But again, I don't run infinite combos or I win effects because I want to kill you with creatures. And that's what this deck does. It's lords. It's a whole bunch of lords, Elvish Champion, and all the merfolk type stuff, fairy things. There's some sliver stuff in there. Really like this deck, that it's kindred, or tribal, or whatever the words are. I think kindred is what they say on them now. It's a kindred deck, or Lord Kindred, whatever you want to call. That's what this is, and I run a lot of those effects in there. I wish this had white included in it because there's so many good like knights that give indestructibility to all knights and things like that. It'd be so much better of a card, but I'm sure with power creep they're going to eventually make that soon. This is probably my second favorite deck behind my Chromat. I hadn't ever made a Rakdos deck until I made this one, and it instantly became my favorite deck. It's Goad. Then they made 30 billion better Goad commanders. But I love this guy. I run some really cool cards in this deck. A lot of old foils, a lot of old cards. I love getting to play those old cards. Like Keldon Keldon Twilight, Raging River, just some really, really bad cards. But I love this deck because it, like the other Goad deck, makes the game go really, really fast, and it forces people into combat, which means they actually have to think about things. Combat is my favorite step in Commander, and it goes ignored by so many players. And that's a shame because forcing people to actually think about attacks and blocks is really, really cool. A lot of people think that it's only skill in CDH to pull off your Infinite combo or, you know, whatever. There's so much skill when you have to think about blocking. Do I throw my Lotus Cobra as a blocker? Do I have to throw this utility, this value creature, and throw him into combat, and I lose them, or they might have a combat trick. There's so many cool things. Did I actually close this? Yes, I did, because holy crap, we're now at 35 minutes. I don't even know if this video is going to upload. Vacuum. Yes, I have a whole nother box. Holy mackerel. All right, we're going to go really, really fast. This is my current. This is the one that I actually bring with me. I used to bring these both, but it was very heavy. These things are not light. All right, we're going to go through these really, really quick because these are the ones that I definitely want to showcase. Eventually, these are some of my current favorites. Oh, God, you can even see that one, I think, even with the glare. All right, this is Carmen. This is the one I mentioned earlier that is Sun Titan focused, where I'm sacking a bunch of things. There's not a super big amount of aristocrats. There is some aristocrats. She can become a very, very big creature, especially if my opponents are doing treasures and stuff. So it can be a Voltron deck. There's a life theme, life gain sub-theme to the deck as well. I really like this one. It's fun. I get, again, a lot of old cards. Yes, I have a SpongeBob deck. It actually has, yeah, that's the, I don't know if it's going to show it. Gigantha is the companion. So I do have to go by that companion clause. But this is a Joda, the Unifier, insanely busted, powerful commander, definitely should be kill on sight for most decks. This one is a Shrines deck. My goal is to play the creature shrines. They're legendary, so he makes them bigger, and my goal is to attack you with those creature shrines, and then I run effects like Opalescence and the second Zur, not Zur the Enchanter, but the second Zur that animates enchantments into creatures, and my goal is to turn those shrines into creatures and attack you with shrines. All the other legendary creatures are there just for value, or if you make me mad and you start targeting my stuff, I might attack you with non-shrine legendary creatures, but the deck's goal is to attack and kill you with shrines through combat. And Avatar is revisiting shrines, so I'm very, very excited to get some shrine support. This deck was part of our very first Secret Santa that I did with my group. This was the guy that had me. He was like, what's the most, this is Commander Channel guy thing that I can think of, and what he thought of was gruel, stompy, big, beefy creatures, and fight. Just creatures beating up on creatures. So he made me this Naith deck, and I kept it together. I think I'm one of the few guys that actually kept their Secret Santa deck together. I know maybe one or two other guys did. And I did remove a little bit of the fight theme to it because that was kind of mean, and it was just really just destroying a lot of people's creatures, and they got mad at that. So now the deck is very, very focused on just big gruel creatures go stomp. My second Rakdos deck that I ever built, and also a very, very fun deck, Magar of the Magic Strings. I actually did a video talking about his effect and how it works with things that kind of stacks graveyard interaction. Not graveyard interaction, but graveyard recursion, and what zone are these token copies actually created. I love this dude because I reanimate instants and sorceries onto the battlefield, and I attack people with instants and sorceries. Very, very cool thing. Again, similar to Bellow, I love killing people with things that are not normally creatures. So that's a lot of fun. This one is a Will Help deck. I actually didn't get the maybe I did get the precon. I don't know, because this is the thick version of it. Yeah, it's zombies. I have a lot of old zombies, in this deck, and it's a very straightforward kind of aggressive zombie deck. Really, really fun. There's now better zombies in 3-color with that one that just every card you've drawn pumps your board, which is crazy. One of my top favorite decks, this I'm definitely bringing to MagicCon Atlanta soon, my Urza Prince crew. I'm working on trying to get a retro frame foil of this version. They're hard to come by because they were part of that 30th anniversary thing. They're actually relatively cheap. I think they're even less than $10 now. So I need to get one, might get one in Atlanta. Whew. And I love this deck. This is the one that replaced the Osgear because this is so much better at duplicating up on artifact ETBs. I love this deck. It is a very blinged out deck. I've got a lot of old cards in here that I love to show off, and just a very cool tricks that I use with that, like that video that I covered. Grismald. This is kind of a Voltron deck, kind of a go wide, kind of a group hug. It's kind of all over the place, aristocracy kind of thing. He's all over the place, surprisingly powerful. If you ever play against a Grismald deck, you will die to it probably with commander damage. This dude can get gigantic. I try not to kill with the commander damage. I mostly try to use his effect and just do cool things with it. Very, very fun deck. I enjoy that one. This is my new X Spells Matters deck. I actually did a video about this one, how using her ability multiple times does stack, and you get multiple delayed triggered abilities from her. Really, really big fan of her. I have no clue about any of the lore of it for Warhammer 40k, but I really hope they do revisit it, because the Tyranids, the creatures that have, what's the ability? Ravage? The one where as long as X is 5 or bigger, you get to draw a card when it happens, because that's how she replenishes the hand. Love this deck. Very explosive deck. Very potentially powerful. But I really enjoy that deck. One of my personal favorites and one of my more powerful decks. This one, if you can read it. Yeah, there you go. Hope you can read for X. This is the Vorinclex Monstrous Raider. The least mean out of the Vorinclexes, I think. This is the one that only stops counters and doubles up my counters. So I always have a conversation with people. Hey, make sure your deck don't run your Super Friends decks. I've had some people, like, I tell them this, and they explicitly say, like, oh, okay, I welcome the challenge. And they actually do run their Super Friends decks. And they actually do pretty good, because it doesn't completely shut them down, but it does hurt them a lot. But yeah, I try to warn people, like, yeah, don't run your Saga deck. Don't run your +1/+1 counter deck, because it can possibly just shut down your whole deck. If I turn off 1 or 2 of your cards, I'm not too bent out of shape about that. And I have had times where this thing accidentally makes the opponent go infinite, because now they things that normally would get counters on them, they don't, and they can just keep doing, like, Hermitage Druid? No, Devoted Druid. Yeah, I've had that a few times where people use their Devoted Druid, and now they have infinite green mana. Jetmir, yes, another scary one, like Corvold, like a lot of my decks. Very, very powerful, like Joda. Very, very insanely powerful, busted commanders, but I build them in a way that I try to make them interesting. This is Vigilance. I lean into his first thing, how he gives Vigilance to creatures. This deck is Activated Ability Tribal, and I make a bunch of creatures with activated abilities. A lot of them are mana dorks, but a lot of them are just like Mom, the Giver of Runes and Mother of Runes. I run those in there to protect Jetmir and other creatures, to make them unblockable by giving them protection from a color. So it is very much a creature attack focused deck. Again, just like with Graz, I get Jetmir out as soon as I can. I don't treat it as a Craterhoof Behemoth, where I amass a board state of tokens. There's not a lot of token things in the deck. It is mostly creatures I actually cast with activated abilities, and then I attack with them to where they have Vigilance, so that I can still use their tap effects after combat is declared. This one is a Karametra deck. Again, pretty powerful commander, probably not as powerful as she once was, because power creep has gotten crazy, but this is my non-black Reanimator deck. I wanted to make a Reanimator deck that did not contain black in it, and so I used her to get a whole bunch, because she lets you search for a forest or plains. I almost never search for a forest. I always search for a plains, pretty much until I get all my plains needed, because I have that one land that says at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 7 or more plains, you get to reanimate a creature from your graveyard straight into the battlefield. So it runs a lot of angels and stuff that have some reanimation, and I run things like Resurrection, Resurrect, Gift of Life, a lot of those like bad 4-mana reanimate things that only let you reanimate from your graveyard and not any graveyard like black does. I love this deck. It has a pseudo landfall sub-theme to it. I reanimate a lot of big creatures, like Avenger of Zendikar and stuff, because she does let you get the land. So yeah, another Selesnya deck, and another Selesnya deck. I told you, I think I have 4... maybe Selesnya decks. Amard deck, one of my personal favorite decks. I love this deck. She is sneaky powerful. I actually consider this one in probably in my top 5 most powerful decks. Maybe, possibly. She just makes 1/1 soldiers with lifelink when she becomes tapped. So I have a lot of effects to untap her and be able to tap her again. There's a weenie sub-theme to this where I draw when small creatures enter, and there's a life gain sub-theme because all the soldiers that she makes do have lifelink. So there's an Archangel of Thune and Nykthos Paragon and things like that. What's the god that has that? Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on, that kind of thing. A lot of that stuff. So there you have it. I have, what, 12, 24... 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 54 decks that I have here. Holy crap, 54. I've been telling people I have like 40 decks. I have 54. And this is not even all of them. There's still a few more upstairs that I didn't grab because they're kind of picked clean because I'm sharing lands between other decks and stuff. And yeah, I have way too many decks. I have an addiction. This video is 44 minutes. I don't even know if this is going to upload from my phone. We will see. The audio quality is probably not even great, and then this is probably going to be another scrapped video like the one that I worked on for like 8 hours today, only for my computer to then crash. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Oh my gosh, I just let go of the phone with my right hand, and it is, oh gosh, whew, that hurts. I gotta figure out this whole phone camera thing, especially before MagicCon Atlanta. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one. Have a good one. Ta-ta.